Good evening, good evening, everyone. There we go, that went well. It's a good start, it's a good start. Right, thank you for joining me. It's once again Tuesday. I feel lucky I remembered, in all honesty. Whenever there's a bank holiday, it sort of puts me out for a couple of days. I don't know what day it is. And obviously the kids are going back to school, aren't they? So I'm going to be going all over the place for the next week or so. But I am here now. Hi, Karen. So I'm just going to set up the tablet. Now, in all honesty, the tablet is very low on battery. But I will try and keep up until it kicks the bucket, and then I'll just keep going. Alrighty. So, how are we all? Are we having a good week? Do we have a good bank holiday weekend? Oh, look, there's me. Well, sort of. Right. So, oh, that are writing us so this early on. Blooming marvellous. What I thought we might do tonight is do a little bit of journaling in my white journal. Sorry, let me rephrase. My new white journal. Because I've been doing a lot in my media journal, in my delusions journal recently, and I wanted to have a go in one of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some different mediums. We're going to use some gloss spray, maybe some of the new media, Dina Wakley Media metallic paints. I'm going to have a go, and we're going to use the Doodle houses and some of the moons and stars. So we're going to have a real good play with lots of things going on. I have, however, just realised I didn't pick up my mug of water for washing out any paintbrushes I may use. So bear with. Here we are. Funnily enough, I do not live in a mansion, so it's not like it's very far away. Right. Love the white journal. Oh dear, angry face. What did I do? I wasn't even here for that one. Rightio. Unless it's an angry face that I don't live in a mansion, in which case I'll agree with you. But aside from that, no angry faces. No angry faces. Yeah, so let's basically get cracking. Let's have a go and see what happens. Alrighty. So, is everybody doing well though? You adore the little journal, everybody needs one. Absolutely. Absolutely. They're ace. So what I'm doing is, because it's new, obviously it tends to, and these are very, very heavy duty pages, you really have to, see what I mean? And if you look at the weight of these pages, look at them. I mean, they're so thick. Just let me give you a comparison. So you know how much I love the Delusions stock in here. Sorry, I'm just trying to find something, and how weighty I say it is and how good it is for all your different mediums. But if you look at the weight difference there, is enormous. So these are really, really heavy duty. In my media journal, I've actually used the one that's got the Hessian and stuff in. I've actually used Pro markers on one side and it hasn't gone through. I mean, it's really, really, really weighty stuff. Oh, there we go. 440. 440. Really, really heavy. Right. So I'm just going to clip that on there. I will take that on and off as I require it. Okay. Right, what I have done is I've put some white card behind my blending mat and I hope to just reflect a bit of light. I don't know if that's going to work, but despite all of my lights in here, I sometimes worry it's still a little bit dark. Right, so what I'm going to do first is I'm actually just going to mist gently onto these pages because I want any ink and paint I use to flow quite freely. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I actually meant to open these before I started. So I've got the guilt, not as in you should feel guilty, guilt as in gold, and the medieval in the gloss spray. So these are sort of like the metallic-y ones. And as I want to use the moons and stars, I want those to have a little look as well. But in all honesty, I haven't thoroughly decided how this is going to look yet. But when do I? So I'm going to get my microfiber, because like I've said to you before, and Jane said as well, when you're using your gloss sprays, okay, you do need to wipe the nibs pretty much straight away. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go for our marine, and we're going to spray a little bit of that across the top. Okay, and then I'm going to put in some of the mineral, because I want this to be sort of okay. And then from the bottom we're going to use some of this gorgeous aloe. Now I didn't give that a scoosh up, so that was a bit silly. Okay, so we're going to go some of this gorgeous aloe. I do need a more vivid green. Oh, look at the gilt. Look at that. I haven't really swirled these up properly at all, which is rubbish of me. I'm sorry, I'm just realising I didn't do nozzles on this one. So I'm just going to go back in with some of my mineral. Put a little bit of mineral down the bottom as well. And then I'm just going to get a tag to get some of this out of here. Just sort of scoop some of that out. Oh yeah, that's quite cool. I like that. Ooh. Okay, because I want a sort of greeny, bluey, almost like a sky to grass, but not so obvious. Okay, so you're still waiting for your moons and stars. Honestly, it's all gone. It's all gone. Right, so from here I think we just need to give it a little bit of a heaty. Now with my gloss sprays, generally, I'm not going to lie, I do like to leave them if possible. Because this, I mean, so you saw how wet that got, right? And look, nothing. Well, the drops from where I went over the edge, but hasn't gone through at all. Are you picking up the guilty gold there? Because that is just absolutely beautiful. I might have to lift you down for a little look in a minute. Okay. And then we're going to go on here with our moons and stars. So yeah, sorry, the tags I'm using, they are the Ranger ones. Let's pick up, they're fab for this sort of thing. I mean, look how fab that's come up on that tag. That's just a bit lush, isn't it? So I'm just hoping you can see sort of gilded gold on there, and that's just the residue, bear in mind. I'm just going to put that one to the side. There you go, that's still got some on it as well. Absolutely loving that. That's beautiful. Now, with your gloss sprays, right, let me pick that up. Are you picking up that gold? Because it's so yummy. It's almost, what's the word? You know, like minerals in thing, which is funny because I didn't use the mineral, I used the gilt. Let me just try and mop up what's left of that. Now, the last time I used the gloss sprays was the first on a live, was the first time I ever used the gloss sprays. Now I will say, in fairness, because of the acrylic nature of them and basically plasticky, they peel off. So they'll peel off your fingers, your mat. They're absolutely ace. So I'm just going to give this another quick waft. I think it's pretty much dry, but I don't want to think. I want to know. That up from there. I'm really worried that you're not getting the full effect of how cool the gold is. Look at that. Absolutely ace. Very beautiful. So that is the gilt spray. But we did have the paint in for that as well last week. So we've got the gilt, the sterling, the penny, the ancient, the medieval, which are great, and we'll work with these absolutely fab. So that's quite good. Okay, right, so from here I'm going to take, now remember I do think last week I was talking about my Bakewell template and how my dad and how I'd ruined it, and I was going to go and soak it in elbow grease, but I didn't, and my dad shouts at me. I mean, look, this one's got tissue paper stuck to it and all sorts. I really have. But for me, see, Dad worries that it looks like they can't be cleaned, and I think you all know it's just me that doesn't clean them. But for me, it shows how cool they are, because look, you can just pick off all these bits that I've left in, and it's not wrecking my template at all. It's just showing how rubbish and clatty I am. You know it's meant as a spray, but could you use it as a paint for the defined area with a brush? If you only have, for example, say you've got these, or even, because obviously we've only got the metallic in the paints at the minute, and you wanted to paint with your gloss sprays, you can absolutely do that. If you go back and have a look at some of the other videos, either on YouTube or on Facebook, you will see that when I did... sorry, I'm just trying to look at messages at the same time. When I did my first one of these, I applied them with a brayer and all sorts of things. So you can really apply lots of these in a different way. So if you wanted to, I mean, something obviously I love to do with any sort of sprays is splashes. Okay, so for example, I'd take my marine and add on some splashes. Here we go. And I do love me a double layout. I've got to practice doing one page. It's not really my... I've really got to get into doing the one page, because I just work on double layouts all the time. I don't think it matters though, does it? So, you know, you can apply them that way. You can apply them with your brayer. Okay, so there's lots. Bakewell. Bakewell's a ace. Okay, so it's just, you know, really picking those up. So there's lots of different ways to apply them. So yeah, if you wanted to apply it with a brush, for example, if you wanted to go in, let me just dry these. And then we'll do a little bit more. Okay, so if you wanted to get, take this one. I'm getting to the stage where all of my brushes are about to become mixed media pieces and stuck onto canvases. Okay, so if say you wanted to add a bit more light blue, okay, and you wanted to do it in sort of like a brush stroke, give it a more of an abstract look. So what I would do with that is I would take my mineral, or if you wanted, oh hello, or if you wanted to do it in the green, you could take the aloe, okay. You know, you can apply it with a brush. So all you need to do is take your brush, or you could put it on a palette if you want, and then just sort of give yourself little abstracty highlights. You know, you could bring them a little bit more direct. That's actually really, really cute. I really love that. Okay, and add that in different ways. So, you know, obviously if you had some more of the richer colours, you could really add that indents, but I actually quite like it in the mineral. You know, if you were bringing in pinks, for example, the carnation in the new pastels would be absolutely lovely. So you can just add them in. There's a few sort of almost abstract lines, just to add a little bit to your page. And this is the fab thing about journaling. If you have a journal, which I know a lot of you do, that you have yet to start, seriously, just grab it and start putting something in, okay? Because they just want to be used. It's what they're for. Okay, you don't need to have a massive plan. Look at a card you like. Look at anything really. It doesn't necessarily have to be a journal page. Look at one that you like, that you've seen done. okay, and work from there and work outwards. Grab some products, okay. I am sorry if I'm freezing. Oh dear, somebody says Jenny says I'm freezing. Okay, so I will just keep going because she does say she can hear me, so hopefully it'll come back. Hi, Elisa. Okay. So from here, so yeah, sorry, we are going to go on with the Bakewell. Alrighty. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go on with a little bit of white acrylic. Okay. So I'm just going to take, oh dear, this is an old one. And with, where's a big brush? A big brush. In fact, you know what? I'm not going to do it with that. I'm going to apply it. I don't know what to do it with now. I want a sponge. So I'm going to do it with a foam, I think. She said with the utmost of confidence. Oh, bless you, Dave. Right, so I'm going to take a foam, a little bit of white acrylic. Okay, we're going to go through our Bakewell. Oh, I want it to be whiter than that. Okay. So if you had, for example, the white gloss spray, you could spray through. I do not have the white gloss spray because it doesn't seem to matter how many I order, I get half as many in. Or to be honest, just not very many at all at the minute. So I make sure I leave them all in case you guys want them. Okay, so I'm just going to add on some more of these. That one was a bit wiggly, but that's okay. I'm going to add on the Bakewell. That one's a bit squiffy, as is that one, so I'm just going to take that off and then take off a little bit of the excess here. What acrylic was that? Because that was not good acrylic. Oh, it was a cheapy one. Never mind. It's okay. It's okay. We have the feeling, and that's what we were after. All right, so I'm just gonna get what's there on the excess and then throw that in my paint jar. Alrighty, and then I'm going to go in with some of my border stamps. Favourite one. I'm going to put it on the end of my block because I want to go in and around. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my black soot mini archival. Okay, so who has one of the small white journals, or does anyone have a journal at the minute that they are working in, or they know they should be working in but they're not? Because, you know, we all do that. It's just a case of getting on sometimes, isn't it? So, and then put that one along there. And that is such a cool border stamp. I absolutely love it. Jane Royston, I have a couple of journals. Yes, I know you have a couple of journals, my lovely. Okay. Joe Standage, you've got a big one. For example, which one? Delusions, Dina Wakley, all of which are good, obviously. I absolutely love them all. So there is certainly no judgment here at all on which one you have. because I work in all of them. So this is my new little Dina Wakley white one. Okay, I've been working in my small Dilutions one for a while. I very much want one of the little black ones. I think that'll be rather cool. But, you know, it's absolutely, you have a few. And this is the thing, all I will say is, Dawn, grab your journal. All I will say is, believe it or not, way back when, my crafting was very regimented and regular. I used to do scrapbooking and everything had its place and it had to be symmetrical. There are witnesses to this, by the way. And everything had to be well balanced and even. And I do still like a little bit of the balance, I'm not going to lie. But when Diane Reevely released her first Dilution sprays, was effectively when it all changed for me, because I absolutely love them and I love the effect they go. And you don't have time to journal, you're blinking, it's 8 PM. That's alright, Steph, journal along with me. Just sort of have me on in the background. And I absolutely love the effect they gave. But obviously the sprays, they cannot be forced. They do what they want to do, and it's sort of really, the one with all the different pages, yeah, that's fantastic. It really freed me up creatively, because you can't force it. You know, it does sort of have, it's quite, sorry for the phrase, but it does have quite an organic look to it, because it just sort of moves how it wants and what have you. So you can't repeat the same thing twice, and it does really free me up creatively, because I couldn't control it all. It had to work a little bit by itself, and absolutely beautiful. Oh God, you hurted your foot. Oh dear. You need that slim. That one. Okay. So it is just a case of, honestly, get your journal out. And I used to think as well, when I had a journal, I have to finish one at a time. You know, work in this journal and then I'll buy me a new one, and then work in that journal. But the problem is, because journaling, well, it's not a problem, because journaling is creatively freeing, it means that you might want to say, well, no, I want to pick up this one today, or I want to pick up this one. And the nice thing is, as daft as it sounds, it doesn't, once you've got them, you know, there's a lot in there. They will last you a really long time. Sorry. So yeah, Joe, that's the one you've got. We do now have the massive one of these, but that is not going to fit in here right now. It's a real mess. Right. Okay, so this is sort of you know, I'm ready to start building up more sort of stage to it, which I quite like and whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I did mean to add some book pages to this, but I don't know if I'm going to do that now. Or what I could do is I could do it with some washi tape, because this is going to, what I like about this washi tape is it doesn't necessarily cover everything. It just sort of, you know, you can sort of see through it a bit. So we're just going to put some of the washi tape along here, because this is going to be effectively the base on here. So I'm going to put this one up here, so you can still see where I've put those things underneath, and then I will knock it back with a little bit. Oh. So this is the formulas. There we go. And it's just such a usable washi tape, this one. I absolutely love it. I wish I could tear it in a straight line just once though. I don't always want a straight line, but it'd be nice to have the option. Problem is, I'm always trying to do something and then washi tape, you put it on and then don't like it. Paint over it. That would be my advice. If you don't like it, paint over it. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to put that one on there. And then I'm just going to add in a few more of these bits because I've got some fairly irregular lines. That's why even if it doesn't tear how I want, I don't throw it away straight away. Because I might want to add in a little bit across here, a little bit across there, a bit on there, and then we'll just take some scissors and snip it off. And again, you know, when we're doing Tryout Tuesdays, I am playing. This is basically how I craft when you guys aren't here. I'm just talking you through it. Okay, so for example, if we get to this stage here and you're like, guys, and you're like, Bev, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why would you add that washi tape? I wouldn't add the washi tape. Well, if you want to almost recreate this, but without the washi tape, then don't add the washi tape. That's absolutely fine. You don't have to. Not a problem at all. No offence will be taken by me. Okay, so I'm going to grab a gesso. Oh. And for whatever reason, I didn't go for the one under my desk. Are you likely to get the Dina Wakley collage papers? Like the ones that are in the papers section on the website right about now? I did put them on the email at the weekend. The only ones I don't have, I've got the faces and the vintage sketch. Wednesday Wow, I'm not telling you the Wednesday Wow this week. The Wednesday Wow will be coming tomorrow. Nice try, Blake. So we'll be, yeah, so I'll be doing the Wednesday Wow tomorrow. And it's not at all because I haven't decided what it is yet. The mood will take me tomorrow, I'm sure. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of my washi and my gesso and just flick that. Love it. Love it. There we go. Okay, that's far too much gesso I put over there. So now, what I want to do is I'm just going to give that a quick blast with the heat dull, so we can start going on here. Emma, why are you? Who's spitting the dummy out? And oh right, oh it's because of the Wednesday Wow. Well, you know. If it makes you feel any better, we didn't get round to sorting the Wednesday Wow prematurely today because we were focusing on, we were looking at new product and stuff. Does that help? Do we get forgiven now, if that's the case? Okay, right, now I'm going, it's time for stars. It is time for stars and it is time for a moon. Okay, so I'm going to put a really big moon on. A big moon. Oh dear, considering some of the conversations that's been going on today, I even feel like I'm being rude saying the phrase a big moon. Honestly. Yeah, it is only Tuesday. Yes, there's been rather naughty conversations going on today, and it's you know, amongst several of the shenanigating crafty people. But there we go. But it's not a full moon, so it's fine. Okay, so I'm going to put the moon right about here. Okay, so I'm going to go in. I'm going to go in with my slim, and then I've just got that little bit of flex. Oh, wow, I love it. Because obviously your archival ink's drier, so you don't always get that really solid image. But because it's on this texture as well, you've got the texture of the cardstock in the journal coming through your moon. Oh, wow, I love that. That's so cool. I'm going to have to reorganise slightly how I'm doing things, but that's okay. That's okay. Right. Then where's my skinny little journal block that Emma wants? And if she doesn't stop being naughty, she's not going to get. Got a little moon on here. I wonder how, did I check last time how the VersaFine went onto the gloss sprays? This would be so much easier if I could see my VersaFine, of course. No. It was definitely on this table before I started. Doesn't mean anything though, does it? Not a thing. No, so we're going to carry on with our archival because that's what's currently here. Right, so we'll go on with the little moon now. Emma wants everything, Bev. It's a sickness. She does. I'll put that little moon on there. So lush. And then we might get the very famous or infamous, depending on your perspective, white pen on there in a little bit. Okay. And then I think we need, so sorry, yes, at the minute I'm working on the moons and stars, so this is the La Lunas. Yeah, I'm so sorry guys, I've got no idea what's going on in terms of time scale, why they're taking so long. I can only assume, well, I don't know. Hopefully they'll all be there. So they're all, I was going to say, they're all gone. They were all gone last week. But let me know. Keep me up to date. Okay, so then we're going to go on with some of these fantastic La Luna circles around. Okay, the funny thing is the focus of these pages is actually going to be the Doodle Art houses. If I get there, what's the time? But I wanted to show, I kept saying, I said very many times actually, during the live shows, how well these stamps will work with everything else you've got. So I wanted, and I've been wanting to have a play with them, with the, right, so that's the La Luna. Right, now I'm going to grab the stars texture. Honestly, how can I lose stuff in the space of 2 seconds? There they are. So I'm going to have a play with the stars textures. Now, like I said, this is a fab set because you've got loads of different stars on here. And, like I was saying on the show, okay, this sort of doodle star sort of circle does fit within your La Lunas as well, which is really cool. Like I said on the show, I could lie and tell you that was totally on purpose, but it totally wasn't. It wasn't. Happy coinky dinky, which is good. You like a happy coinky dinky. Right, so I'm just going to, wrong end. Okay, I'm going to ink up this one. And bless her, Mum has been struggling with this star a little bit because it's a fade out star, so it's not solid. It's really dense on one side and then sort of fades out. And Mum is very tempted constantly to fill it in so that it doesn't look like it's fading out. But it is supposed to look like that. Okay, so you've got that in 2 sizes. So we'll add in a couple more. Absolutely loving where this is going, by the way. Right, now from here, what we're going to do is we're going to go to our doodle arts, okay? Now, what I have got is some doodle art houses that are already cut out, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to, no, I'm not going to go with that one. I'm going to go with that one and this one, okay? I think they're going to look awesome. So I'm going to go on with my collage medium. I'm going to put that one a little bit higher up. Okay. And then this one a little lower down. And then we're going to put, we've got space for some words and things in there. And the thing is, yeah, I know I've covered up some of the stars, so if you want to go back in and add some more after, that's one of the main reasons Be Crafty stamps are clear. Okay, I wish I had a craft room. In fairness, Jackie, I totally admit I am really, really lucky to have a craft room. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a cupboard. For example, my mum and dad lived in a house exactly like mine when I was born. Okay, and the room I'm sitting in was their utility. Well, it's not the exact same house, but it was one on the same estate. And the room I'm sitting in, Mum used as a utility cupboard. We had a washer and a dryer in it. So there you go. So I'm going to take some trees out as well. And I wasn't planning to, but I am actually going to add some clouds in, because I think they're going to work ace. Absolutely ace, in fact. Oh, yes. This is going to be so fantastic. I was planning to paint these. But now I'm not sure if I'm going to, because I think they look really good in the black and white. So if you would like me to paint these, tell me. I will use the colour. I'm not willing to deviate from the colours of gloss sprays I've been using, no. So if you do want me to deviate from the colours of gloss sprays, no. But if you do want me to give them a little paint, say so. And I might be tempted, who knows. But I'm just going to go and add some trees in right now. In all honesty, I can't remember which trees come with which house. So I won't lie to you. But they come with one of them. Okay. So this house, if you're looking on the website, sorry, this is Villa Rose. And this is Sky Terrace. Okay. Because when you look on the website, Sky Terrace has a terrace. But when I'm cutting it out, I lobbed it off. Okay. So, put some clouds on here. So you can see on here how well those stars and moons work with the doodle art. Although they're, you know, you would argue they're a totally different style, and you wouldn't say, oh yeah, they'll definitely go. But they really do, don't they? They really, really do. Okay. And this is also why you don't worry too much about your, what's the word? Washi tape edge or anything like that, because we're still going to build on that. Okay. So yeah, see, I'm thinking black and white, boys and girls. I really, really am. Right. I might do another one another time. Put some more. So you can see how fab that is. Now, now what we have to decide though is, do we use a Moons and Stars sentiment or a ticker tape sentiment, because I just don't know. This is the question. What ticker tapes have I got out? So I've got ticker tape 1 out, or we use a Moons and Stars. I think I'm going to go with a ticker tape 1 because I think it just... Again, I think it just shows that when we are... That was something else that just fell on the floor. When we are doing our stamps, when we're designing stamps or we're making stamps, it's really important they all work together. So even though the style may change or the inspiration will change for what we're trying to do, it's still important. These are the regular, sorry Raina, these are the regular size houses, because this is the 6x6 journal. Yeah, so hang on, let me just see if I've got, yeah. So here's a card with the Villa Rose with the XL, and that's the regular. Okay. See, so sometimes it pays for everything to be in a mess because it's actually right at my hand. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for the Live Every Moment, I think. So I'm just going to grab me a bit of white card. Oh, I've got some horrible, horrible card blanks that I bought because I was desperate, and they're absolutely hideous card. So they will do for this. Absolutely spot on. So let me just... How am I doing for time? What's the time? Oh, brilliant. Right, so we'll do... Live Every Moment. I might go back and do some highlights on the sky with gold, but I'm not sure right now. I am very curious as to where my Versafine's gone, because I'm sure it was on my desk before I started. So everything will be archival for now. But there we are. And I do usually reserve archival. Oh no, I've smudged that one. I do usually reserve archival for only when I'm stamping on acrylic things, because I prefer Versafine, either Claire or regular Versafine. But as my archival's the one I can locate right now, that's the one we'll be going with. Here we go. And scissors. In fact, my Versafine Claire, like I say, it was on the table before I started. I could see it and everything. And now it's gone and everything. Yeah, I was going to say, I've had requests today as to when is ticker tape 4 coming. And that was actually from Louise Sims. Eagerly awaiting ticker tape 4. It's just not quite finished yet. I've got a gap and I don't know what to put in it. So, and I don't like leaving gaps on stamp sets. I like them to be full. To the point, sometimes they have to be restructured because I've tried to make it too full. Oh well. Something like that. So I'm going to need something else in that gap. See, I'm not totally... When I said, you know, you wouldn't believe I needed everything balanced as a scrapbooker. I haven't totally abandoned that. I think it's why I struggle with white space. I did watch Dina Wakely do a live in Crafting Together, and you know she's a really good one for not overdoing a page. Like Sam, she likes white space. You know, don't overstuff it. I'm an overstuffer, and I'm okay with that. because it is our own project. It is our own art. It is our own inspiration. Do you know what I'm going to do? I've got some XL things in here. Do I have an XL tree to put in that gap? I think we need a nice big tree. Yes. So that's the XL version of that tree. Emma Blake, I'm an overstuffer. You are an overstuffer. Books, MDF, your craft room. Okay. Okay, so, like double stuffed, like a double stuffed Oreo. Okay. So I'm absolutely loving it, by the way. Absolutely loving it, by the way. What I am going to do is I'm going to take my Ink Essentials white pen. I'm allowed to have white pen on this one because it's white at the bottom and not at the top. So I'm going to take my white pen. I'm just going to go around in a nice thin line. Around that moon. Another one like thin line. Around that moon. On there. Centre there. Centre there. Centre there. I'm doing my little white faux stitch. I can't resist it. Well, I could, but I don't want to, so I won't. I also find as well, with the Ink Essentials white pen, okay, I know a lot of guys have problems with them, and it's something we discuss quite a lot, and that's generally because on your Dilutions journal, or if you're using with spray ink, okay, it can really saturate your cardstock down to the core, and if your cardstock's not totally dry, the pen struggles to work and it gets blocked. And also you will sometimes find your ink colour come through it, okay. With your acrylic sprays, your glossy acrylic sprays, your Dina sprays, you tend not to find that. The reason being is because they dry in like a plastic, you know, they're sealed. Even if, for example, say this cardstock isn't dry right through to the core, you wouldn't know because it's sealed it on top. So it means you can go in with your white pen sort of a lot sooner. And because it has got that sort of acrylic coating, it doesn't leach the colour of the ink back through the white pen. So I've actually found my best results with this are on top of the Dinas, because you don't have to worry about, you know, other things. So I can go in and I'm going to add a few random white circles into my border stamp here where there's some gaps. Just add in a couple of white dots. Why not? Okay, and then here we go, we'll add in a couple here. Do you know what I mean? You can see how much easier this white pen does work on the Dina, which is absolutely fab. Oh, I'm at risk of going far with this, I'll tell you. I'm going to make that line up a little bit thicker. Okay, and then we go through that. I am so happy with this, guys. I can't even tell you. I'm so happy with it. So, if you are going to have a mess with some art journaling, like I say, don't worry. And if you get halfway through and you're not sure and you're not confident about where it's going, my advice would be just keep going. Because if you're not sure about it, okay, you've got nothing to lose by continuing. You know, you can just keep going, adding in more. I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to quickly move a couple of bits out of the way so that we can see it anymore. So if you've got any more questions, guys, quickly put them up, and because we're doing okay. It's 10:02, so I've got a few minutes, but I do only have 1% battery left on my tablet. We have beaten the tablet, which is good because I didn't think it was going to last at all. Like I said, another thing you could do in here is if you wanted to, you could go in with either your gilt in the spray, which is more fluid obviously, or with the paint, and you could highlight that way. As daft as it sounds, I'm tempted to go in sort of like with the gilt and highlight on a little bit on the trees, but I don't want to do it and regret it. Hi Kaz. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we will sort of leave that one there. Because I am really, really happy with it. So the journals are all on the website. The moons and stars and the houses are all on the website in bundles as well as individually. So for example, if you did miss them when they were at launch on Hochanda or whatever, the bundles are still available on our website. Okay, so you can do that, and then we will have, I've totally lost my train of thought. Yeah, so the stamps are available on there. The sprays are as well. Your Ink Essentials white pens, I think Sam's done a link for. So, oh, look at all those emojis. Thank you very much. So, thank you for joining me this evening. Yeah, your ticker tape ones, absolutely fantastic. Oh, my phone's having a bit of a doobry. So, I will do, I'll lift that down so you can see that a bit clearer. I will be doing obviously the Wednesday Wow tomorrow. I will also be on live in the Crafting Together All Brands group, and then we have obviously the lovely Janie back in here on Thursday. Bank holiday week. Tell you, I'll be all over the place for the rest of the week. So, thank you very much for joining me, guys. Look at me trying to tidy up so I don't walk in here to do my live for tomorrow and go, it's a mess. Well, I still will, but it'll be harder because I'll at least have tried. So I hope you enjoyed that and it gave you some ideas of what you can do either with your existing stamps when you're moons and stars as well, or maybe you did get the moons and stars and then we're thinking, oh, the doodle art would work well with that. But if there's anything else you would like to see, or there's any questions you have, please get in touch. And if there's anything you think, I wonder if they've got that. For example, earlier somebody was asking for the Dina Wakley collage papers, and we do have them. They are actually on the website. So thank you very much for joining me. I'm off to get a drink. As usual, feeling a bit parched now, but there was no room on this desk for me to bring a drink with me. And as usual, the videos will of course stay live here on the Be Crafty Facebook page, but you will also find all previous ones on YouTube. Alright guys, thank you very much.